Hello, everybody. Oops. And hey, baby.
Hey, how you doing, Amanda?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
What's up? What's up?
What? Hat. Look
How's
at
it
that
going?
hat, man. I got some hat envy.
How
Good
y'all
hat.
doing tonight?
Thank you. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right, man. Good to have you on.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Bruce, do you know if Caleb is aware that we're on?
I don't know. Caleb probably
Let's see.
he's probably trying to get to that shot.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. So his funny story, Tyshawn, is that he's got this like the worst internet ever.
Yeah,
So
I
he
have
has to
bad
go.
internet also. Me too. So,
Yeah,
especially
he has
down
to go. He
here.
has to go to he has to go somewhere to actually get better Wi-Fi.
We're in the middle of like a big major storm warning. So if my stuff does get choppy, it's because my Wi-Fi is going out and my actual phone service is trying to pick it up. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
But the
I've
kids,
had that.
the kids don't even have school tomorrow. They expect it to be so bad tonight that the kids are even out of school tomorrow. So we're
Dang.
about to have to deal with that. We're about to shelter. So everybody's probably about to come downstairs. We have a split level. And I'm in the sub. I'm in the basement down here. So relaxing. So they're probably about to come down here
Oh
when they start getting the
no.
warnings. So
Where you live?
Whereabouts?
Where
I'm
you
in
live?
Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in the mountains.
Okay.
I'm in middle Tennessee. Spartan,
I
Tennessee.
don't know. Dang.
Yeah, we've been
Oh,
having
Yeah, I
some
remember.
really bad weather.
I think it was it last week? I like right before the show, there's storms happening and where my family's at in Kansas, and so like
Yeah.
I was texting back and forth with my mom who'd been in the basement for like ever, and it was bad.
Yeah, it
Luckily,
was
none.
really bad. Yeah, it was really bad in Kansas. It was really bad. I seen the aftermath. But
Yeah,
I believe that was Kansas. That was Kansas when they were like going through and like filming everything, like all the aftermath of the tornadoes that had been through there.
hmm Yeah, and I think there was a city in Nebraska, and then Sulphur, Oklahoma, I want to say, was the one that was like really hit hard. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of the
Oklahoma's always, that's Tornado Alley. It's
it is.
always like, it's
Yeah,
always.
there's nothing to stop it. It's like at least like when it's because down here in Alabama there's hills
Yeah,
and whatnot, and so but like there's stuff to kind of slow
yeah,
them down or kind of
yeah.
get them to the point where they can't get the buildup and they can't eat as much, so they dissipate sooner. But the thing is, like, there ain't nothing to
Oklahoma,
stop it in the
it's just
trains.
flat land. It's just
There's
all
nothing.
flat land. That's it. You're right.
Everything's just like,
You're
here,
all
eat all
right.
this. Oh my gosh. Nikai, where's your husband? Nick guy's watching.
Yeah, I looked at her when she chimed in.
Okay, wait a minute. Just gonna hope to get him on so that way we can.
Yeah, I was running late myself. My relief, he was kind of late, so I didn't get off till like 6:30. So I had to rush home and feed my dogs. I had to stop by the bank and all this kind of stuff, man. I said,
Dang. Yeah, I did.
I
I could
really
see
like how y'all only here every Tuesday. Now y'all make this a priority. Bully talk is really like, it's a priority. Does that make sense? You guys make this it's a good it's a good watch on Tuesdays. That makes sense.
yeah,
Like it gives somebody something to do every Tuesday night.
Well,
yeah,
it's and I think I can't speak for the guys, but I know for me, it's sort of like a nice like distraction. I feel like I'm probably like super close to this camera right now since there's only 3 screens.
Yo,
For me,
look,
it's a release. I feel like the work week is stressful. It's just this is a good way to kind of get out of myself and just talk about
yeah,
something I really love with a bunch of people who also love the same thing.
that
It's
makes
amazing.
sense. That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the
hmm
world.
Oh
It's kind
yeah,
of like a stress reliever. It gives you something to vent about, talk about, other things besides what's going on in actual real life.
yeah.
absolutely. And you learn.
And
The neat thing is you learn something every day,
Yeah.
every
I was just
time.
about to say that
Yep.
we learn a lot from different people that comes on. You know what I'm saying? And some of it is it's really exciting. Because we never been in a situation like that. And then, but if we ever get in that situation, then now we know what to do. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
It
it'd be
gives you
fun.
insight.
Yeah,
You
it'd be
learn.
really fun.
That's what this community is all about. It's reach one, teach one, pretty much. Like you learn off other people's mistakes. You learn off other people's success at the same
Absolutely.
time. So
That's funny because that's actually our
Yep,
motto. Reach one,
really,
teach one. Yeah, reach one,
yep.
teach one. Oh yeah.
that's a good motto.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's like I like if even one puppy is saved or one dog is revived or whatever the case may be, like if one life is saved by something that someone heard here, worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, the goal was reached pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's like I said. Like I've learned a lot from watching you guys live. I've learned a lot about people, about dogs, about situations. So, like that's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Uh, oh, hey, lady. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I know we're waiting for Caleb to hop on, but I figured we'll go ahead and get this ball rolling, so that way we can, as people hop on, they can listen in, and then we can go ahead and share it and everything, so that way anybody that couldn't make it can watch it later. But what we like to do is we like to have you introduce yourself, tell us about like if you have a channel, a company. Its name therein, and then how you got into bullies in the first place, man.
Okay.
There you
That's pretty easy. Hi everybody. I'm Tyshawn Hilliard, representing Middle Tennessee and Spartan Bullies out here. How I got into bullies. That's pretty much. I got into bullies. I bought a bully from a friend of mine. I was always in love with pit bulls as growing up as a teenager, as a kid. I love pits. I love pit bulls, and I have a friend, one of my good friends named Antoine Darty. He's in the XL Bullies out here where I'm at, and he came to the house and he had some dogs in his car in his back of his truck. And I'm like, man, you know, them some nice dogs. And he was like, man, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You should see what I got, you know, at home. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come by there. Yeah, I'm gonna come by there this week and check it out. So that's what I did. And I went to his yard and it just it blew my mind away. But I was more into like the pit bull prices. Does that make sense? I'm working, man. So I asked him about the prices and he told me the price. And I'm like, man, like, where the $400, $500 dogs at? You know, pull me in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I kept in contact with him. You know, me and him. He's a good friend of mine. He lives not too far from me, but I kept in contact with him, and he eventually dropped a letter, and he's like, look, I got a female that, you know, I got something for you. And he's like, look, you can work a payment plan out with me. You know, I want this much down, and then I'll take this much, you know, every month. So I'm like, okay. And he said, after the end of it, you get your paperwork. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I went over there, and me and my daughter and my wife went over there. Make a long story short, we picked the female out, which ended up being Zeus's mom. Her name's Honey. Her butt is in here right now. She's running around here. You'll probably see her jump on me in a second. But she's
I love it.
Yeah, she was my first American bully. I got her from Haybo Kennels. It was a female XL. She had an XL pedigree, but she ended up being more of a classic standard type. She didn't grow to be that big. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But okay, I got Honey from him, and then like 2 years later, I paid her off. You know, I paid her off really fast. But 2 years later, I was ready to breed her. So I didn't know about anything about breeding. Does that make sense? I didn't know anything about breeding. I was just looking at studs, looking at different studs. I was more to XLs. Does that make sense? I was more to XLs.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, because that's the only American bully that I had really seen. I was familiar with. So I put my female on a bully board out here, and calling Chris Shaw. Chris Shaw hit me. And a big salute to Chris Shaw. He hit me and was like, look, I got a stud for your female. And I'm like, okay. So I met him at like a dog park down here, and he pulled a dozer out. Sorry, my wife is trying to be me. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, you going kind of
It's
in and out a little bit.
In and out for a second. Yeah.
You good though?
Oh.
Oh man.
Nope, it's gone now. Can't hear you. Sometimes it does that when it tries to kick to Bluetooth. I'm like, no, stop. Caleb, it's not letting me add you. Send me an invite, Caleb.
Hey, Alicia, what's going on?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Storms might have got him as far as the signal. Oh boy, Nathan. Oh, there he is.
Still can't hear you.
Poor Sunshine.
Kicked him off.
Oh no, he's probably gonna hop back on. Man. Oh, trying to get some. Go. Get Tyshawn back on here. Come on. Wonder if it's gonna let me. Caleb, it's not gonna let me add you either, bro. You might have to actually send me an invite or a request. Sorry, don't mind me. Here we go. Trying to add Tyshawn back. Okay.
Hey, I'm back.
No,
Hey.
we got you now.
I'm back.
It's just one of
All
those
right, I'm
things that's
sorry. Can
like,
y'all
there's a
hear
way
me?
to
Can y'all
do
hear me
this.
now? My wife
Yes.
beeping. I guess it just knocked
Yes, we got you now.
everything off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Honey, and I met Chris Shaw, man. He pulled up on me, and he pulled Dozer out the car, and I was like, man, like I seen Dozer, and I was like, oh my, I never seen a dog like Dozer ever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh yeah, let's run it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So he ran
Like,
it
this is
down
not
to me.
gonna go.
Yeah, but see, I was still under the impression that that breeders happen naturally. Like you get your dog over there. I didn't know anything about progesterone.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about breeding. Period. You know what I'm saying? That was my first breeding. So he ran me through everything. He showed me the vet to go to. He introduced me to a new reproductive vet I still use to this day. And we did an AI though. We did an AI. We did 2 AIs on her, I believe, back to back days, 2 days back to back. I got her progesterone levels. They were good. We did our AI, and I got a nice litter. I got a really nice litter, and Zeus. It was 3 males and it was 3 females out the litter, and it was 2 out of the 3 males was really nice. That makes sense. They were like really like they were
Real,
neck to neck. They really stood out. 2 of the males. The third one was more of a like he was gonna tell you was gonna be like more classy male. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, but
no,
the 3
absolutely.
of the females were more all consistent. They were all really good, nice heads. They were really beautiful females. But 2 of the males was like, and my daughter actually picked Zeus. My daughter and my wife, they picked Zeus out the litter. And
friend.
yeah, but that's how I got. That's how really that's how everything started. That's how my first breeding started. That's how we picked Zeus. And like 8 months later, Chris Shaw was going to a lot of shows. Him and his wife Holly, and they were going to a show in Kentucky. And they were like, "Man, come out here with Zeus. Come and show Zeus." I was like, I'm like, man, I wasn't really into. I wasn't thinking about the showing part. Does that make sense? I wasn't interested. I was more like working, just walking my dog around here. You know, just keeping my dog local with my family. You know, and I brung him to the show, and he did really good. He did really good, and I met some good people there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make this a hack. I'm gonna do this again. Does that make sense? I met Lansley. I met Joel. I met Joel Wynn. I met that's when I first saw Hannah. Stanford Noel. I met a lot of people at that show, and the way that they just showed me love and like attracted to me, it just made me want to go to more shows. And Zeus did really good, and like 2 months later, he was ABKC champion. And I ain't never stopped from there. Pretty much, it's been like I just like going to shows. I like going out there seeing different dogs. I like competing. I like meeting people. So that's where I'm at now. But I'm still a novice breeder. It's a lot that I don't know about. It's a lot that I learn from you guys. I learn from other people. Meeting and looking at stuff online. So
Yeah.
I was lucky. The lightning hit. And it hit on my litter for me. Now, my first breeding, I got Zeus. My first breeding ever. That's why, if you look at his pedigree, his mother, she's a classic female, more classic. She's a standard, but her head makes her a classic to me. Does that make sense? She doesn't have that really bully, that muzzle that you want. That's what those are. He gave me everything that I was lacking. If you look at Honey and you look at Dozer and you look in the middle of both the dogs, you get a Zeus. Does that make sense? Like they met perfectly in the middle. Everything that this dog was lacking, this dog right here made up for, and they met perfectly in the middle, and it just lit. I mean, it just happened. Does that make sense?
Oh,
yeah,
perfect sense. So once you kind of got in that realm and like you brought yourself out, you brought Zeus out, you meeting people, watching him, excel in the ring. Like, when was the moment like that you kind of decided that you were going to make a run for nationals? When was that realization? Like, how far along were you before you were like, screw it, let's go to nationals?
It wasn't even in a moment, Amanda, like I wanted to go to nationals. You know, nationals is the biggest show of the year for every registry every year. Like I wanted to go to nationals with Zeus when I first started showing Zeus. That was the plan, but they didn't have nationals. That was the year that they didn't have nationals.
That's
That makes
right.
sense. The first year I started showing Zeus, they didn't have a nationals that year. I believe Blue was dominating. He was coming in there hot. It was him and Zero were two hot dogs. Blue won the next year after we had that layoff. He came back and won. But the Nationals always been a plan. Does that make sense? Like I've always wanted to go to Nationals, but like running for top dog, to be honest, man, like I just go to all the shows I could possibly go to, no matter what if I'm winning or losing. Does that make sense? So like running or like trying to compete has never been like something like I've made my mind up to do. I just go and just show. Does that make sense? Like I'm doing the same thing I'm doing this year with the dogs that I have now that I'm doing with Zeus. I'm gonna go with as many shows as I possibly can locally and have to drive like it's always I have the same game plan every year. I just end up having Zeus. Does that make sense?
Right.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Zeus just got thrown.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
something you were already.
I was never really running for top dog. I was never running for top dog. I was just going out there and just showing my boy, and he ended up being a number 2 dog. You get what I'm saying? Like top dog was nothing I was ever really striving to be. I just want to go out there and compete. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whoever the top dog is at the end of the day, if I win it, so be it. I'm not gonna sit here and spend all this crazy money trying to pay my dog because it's just so stressful. Like even number 2 dog, it was a lot of stress because a lot of shows that I usually would not have made that I try to keep him up there with Hangman last year. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I knew that I feel that if the number 1 and number 2 dog were stacked side by side, that I had a better chance of me being number 3 or 4 or 5. But I knew that Hangman, he started stretching out on me. Does that make sense? At first, he was like 3 or 4 wins in front of me. But when he started stretching out,
it was going to be
he was going to shows on the West Coast. He was busting them. He was going to shows in Midwest. He was going to Oklahoma. He was holding Texas down. So it was. I thought
it was everywhere. Freaking everywhere.
Yes, exactly. You got a chance for everybody to see him. Does that make sense? When I kind of feel like that wasn't the correct thing for me. That I gave Zeus a smaller market just down south. He didn't get a chance for the Midwest. He didn't get a chance to get seen out west by the West Coast judges. I went to Texas twice, and I kept everything pretty much Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina. I stay down south with him, you know, unless it was like something in the Midwest where I can drive. If it was drivable, I was going. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff I did by myself on the road. You know, my wife, she worked. I had children, a son that plays college football. So our Saturdays are really like, you know what I'm saying? Our Saturdays have to be like plans in order for things to go smoothly. So a lot of times I would hit the road and miss football games just to keep my dog at the number 2 spot. I did that also. Does that make sense? Like by myself, just so I wouldn't let Art come in and take that spot because his camp, they were pushing Art. You know, Art was the number 3 dog. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but he's a real bad boy, and they were pushing him hard. They knew what everybody had their strategic plan. Does that make sense? They knew at the end of the year.
When you campaign, you got to have a plan.
Yes, when you get close to the Nationals, that's when things get tighter. Does that make sense? That's when the competition gets tougher. That's when, believe it or not, that's when there's no more fun of games. Oh, the fun of games.
You're campaigning. You on the campaign trail. It's on.
It's all you want. You're coming for blood now. Does that make sense? You're coming and you're on your A game every time. Like at the beginning of the year, you gotta have fun. It's more fun. Like right now, we're just having everybody trying to find their way. You know, everybody trying to see who's gonna compete for this and this and that, getting in their position. But once everybody's locked in, and so they're trying to push the next person. So it gets down to nitty gritty. Does that make sense? And I got to experience that with Zeus, but I still made it fun for myself. Does that make sense?
You got to. I mean, and that's
fun is never taken out of the shows for me. That's why I like to go because It's my release. The shows are my release.
Absolutely. Did you have out of the shows that you did either that year, this year, any of the shows that you've been to so far, like, did you have a favorite among those?
It's 3 shows I make sure I go to. I'm gonna go to every year. You better believe that's the Jacksonville show. It's the season opener. The season opener. You gotta go to the season opener. Because that's gonna let you see exactly what's going on. The season opener, the Jacksonville show, the Atlanta show, and then the Columbus show. Again, them was 4 shows. The Columbus show I hit twice. The Atlanta show I hit. Them shows that I really. That's where you're gonna see the top dogs come out. Does that make sense? Columbus, they're gonna bring it. Jacksonville, they're gonna bring it. And Atlanta, they're gonna bring it. So them is 3 shows that I would suggest that everybody come to, because you'll get an idea of what's going on as far as the dogs and the competition wise. Does that make sense? If you can win those shows, you can win at the big show at the end of the year. Pretty
Sure.
That's how I feel.
What was the point difference between you and Hangman? Between number 1 and number 2?
Oh, he had took off. I don't even know. He was up. Ask Lee, you had to get Lee to chime in, but he was up there like we were close. We were running like Hangman, Zeus. I tried to be at the shows that Hangman were at. Does that make sense? So I was trying to stop him from, because now when you get to the end of the year, you have to play. Everything is like strategic. So I was trying to be at the shows to stop him from getting so much in front of me. But it came to the end. I'm like, nah, I ain't about to go to Oklahoma or keep going to Texas or sending him off. You know, me and Tony were like, we just go chill. You know, we came up with our game plan, like we just gonna, as long as we can hold the number 2 spot down, that's all we were worried about. Because I had never been to the Nationals, but I heard that the number, like, they come out from 10 all the way down to the number 1 and number 2, and they make them stand side by side. Does that make sense? So my game plan was I wanted to be in between the 1 and the number 3 dog, and I wanted Zeus to stand out. Does that make sense? That was my whole thing. If you could stack Zeus and Hangman side by side, I felt like I had a better chance than me being way back there number 8. Does that make sense? Or number 9 or number 4. You know what I'm saying? And but he pulled off. He was like, ooh, he might have been. He would pull it off from me in the end. I was like, ooh, it got to the point where I was just preparing Zeus more. I was more focused on preparing him for the big show than I was actually showing him in the end. Does that make sense? I missed I believe it was the California show, was the Road to the Nationals. I believe that was the last show of the year, and Hangman came there and bust their butts, and he did really good. And just like you learn from your mistakes. That makes sense, because like going to the Nationals, it's more than you preparing your dog. It's campaigning. It's the team you got. It's a lot. And I was just like, I was just stuck in my same mindset of thinking like, I'm just gonna go out there and just make it do what it do. You know, give it my all and like let it be that. But it's way more into. You learn. Like, you know, experience is the best teacher. So now I know if I ever get in that position again, what to do a little differently coming in. If I have a dog that I'm pushing to be a dog national, to be on a national stage.
Well, so like Tone was on here not too long ago, and we'd ask him the question, you know, like, because again, last year's Nationals was so intense. That down and back was the epitome of the hype that Nationals are supposed to give you and supposed to get. Like, so it was, and all 3 of us were there, and we were right there on the edge of the ring. And when they had those 3 do that down and back, the room was electric. It was electric. Yeah. And we asked Tone how, and he was just like, oh, I honestly don't know, because I was on autopilot. So kind of, with you being outside the ring and watching your dog with this awesome handler and with these other 2, awesome handlers and beautiful dogs, like what was going through your head at that moment?
Like I almost fell out. To be honest, I was standing on the chair way in the back trying to look over everybody because there was so many people in front of me. And like I almost felt like literally like I was holding my breath, and it was just like my head was tingling. Does that make sense? Because I didn't even think that, like, if you've seen all the dogs in the building, and like I just didn't think like this is what everything that you work for, everything like the work that you put in behind the scenes, like all of it comes to this one moment, this life, kennel, like dog, like world altering, like, and it's just like it was just you had to be there to feel it. Does that make sense? Like it was like I was holding my breath. Every time he was eliminating dogs, I was holding my breath. I was saying to myself, Zeus, hold it together. Hold it together. I was saying to myself, like, Zeus, boy, you got this. You got this, Zeus. You got this, Zeus. I was trying to talk to him from like
yeah,
does that make sense? Yes, man. And every time
getting your
like,
jet
I
on.
would turn around because I didn't want him looking at me. I didn't want him to see me while he was doing this down the back. So when he came my way, I forgot it was somebody beside me. Like, bro, you got this, man. You got this. Like, Zeus is gonna win. So like, it was a moment like that I would never. It was a moment that I'll never ever forget. Does that make sense? You would never forget.
None of us
that.
will
Like,
forget that either. And we didn't have a dog in the ring, like, so I couldn't even imagine like how you were feeling. But I know that like it is, yeah, it's nothing like that.
When Zeus was a
That
puppy, I never thought Zeus would even be a grand champion. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When he was a pup, when I was out there competing, and he won a champion. I'm like, all right, Ray, we got a champion. I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, all right, we got some champion. I'm like, but I believe the bus might stop here because some dogs, you know, that's as far as they'll get. As far as they can compete for years. I'm like, I'm looking at all these other dogs, and I'm like, nah, ain't no way Zeus is gonna be up there. So, you know, we just came out, we competed every time, like, and then Zeus just kept getting better. He kept growing and growing. And the judge told me, because like we lost, we got beat bad in Atlanta one year by Napalm. It's a female Napalm. I don't know if y'all remember her.
Oh no, Napalm?
She swept the champion class like the whole weekend. I believe she became a grand at that show. But make a long story short, I walked into the judge like, you know, what's like, you know, and there's anything I need to tighten up, you know, to get the rundown. They're like, look, how old is he? And I'm like, he's a year old. And they're like, whew, you don't need to tighten up. Another 2 years from now, he's not gonna look like the same dog. He's not gonna look like the same dog. They kept saying that. So I'm like, and he's here every day, and like I'll go and I'll show him all year, and then I bring him out in the season opener, you know, Columbus season opener.
Yeah.
And every year, at the end of the year, the season opener, everybody's like, wow, he looks better. So I showed him for 3 years. I showed Zeus for 3 years. You know, I just going out having fun, competing, seeing how he looks against other dogs. That's what it's all about. You know, like I ain't never go out there expecting him to win. Does that make sense? I just not to just go compete, have fun. Whoever wins, I don't care. You know, if I win, I just did it. But if I don't, it's all right. It's all right. You know,
That's me.
I drove like
That's me.
14, 15 hours and came back still smiling. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I would have been for sure. I don't care. I was like,
met
top
shows,
3 in that. Oh, man.
The people I met, but that like for all the hard work and for my dogs to be up there with those dogs, it's like I never thought that would ever happen. Does that make sense? Like that's the Super Bowl. I'm about to kiss the Super Bowl trophy. Does that make sense? But you know, the best dog won. It was this close. It was this close. Zeus showed good. Zeus. And my boys went out there and like
he's smooth.
It was a lot of prepping. Like it was a lot of prepping. Like me and Tone to go show, and then he'll tell me, Ty, you need to do this. You need to do this to tighten this up. You need to do this to tighten this up. You need to do this to tighten this up. And showing is a lot of showing and coming back and adjusting to what the tweaking things. That makes sense.
Yeah.
To your dog to show to his best ability. That's the thing. And going home and being patient with these things, like things don't happen in a day. You know, like especially when your dog is like leaning on one side or your dog is doing this thing that you gotta go home and you gotta. It's just like it's a repetition, pretty much. You know,
absolutely.
And it gets hard. We're having a full-time family, a full-time job, and dogs full time, it gets choppy, and it can create like bad blood with your family, or it can like put you in a stink spot because you're not feeling like you're selling your dog short. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of shows that I feel like I should have went to. Like, man, I ain't make this show, but Zeus could have busted their butts. Does that make sense? I'm looking at the live like, man, I wish I could have Zeus in that grand champion lineup, but I had to go to a football game today. You know what I'm saying? Or then I'm at the shows like, man, I'm watching the football game from the show like I need to be there. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? It was like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, so then like, and so you got like you made it all the way to nationals. Zeus was looking phenomenal, and he did his job. He did his job, and you know, Tone. It just that it's just a beautiful combination. So you picked a great handler for a great dog. Now, ultimately, that was kind of the end of his campaign that year here in the States. So obviously now you have some gears to change, you know, but I know you got stuff in the works. So tell us a little bit about like almost like that nationals hangover. A lot of people don't like to talk about it because it's sort of like a, you know, once your top dog, your lead dog gets the top accolade it could possibly get in your hands, and now what? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dog. Remember we were
so
talking
now
about
what?
that. We were talking about that at the show, man. That was our discussion. You know, like what I've learned is like I'm pushing dogs, but Zeus set the bar so high that like if the dog is not to like, and it's if the dog doesn't meet a certain standard, I'm automatically like, like I'm not giving the dog a chance. Does that make sense? Knowing that Zeus did not look like Zeus if I can show you a picture of Zeus when I'm a year old to 3 years old, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Like I got some I have co-owns, I have friend dogs that I produce that are beautiful dogs, but I'm just like, I don't want to bring them out to represent Spartan Bullies and what we've established if they're not just a dominating dog. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like personally the breed is so inconsistent that like national winners don't usually, you're not gonna have a national winner father and son. Like I believe Hangman and Blue might have been the first father-son national winners ever, correct?
And that's a power move.
That's hard. Like usually most camps, what I've noticed is it's hard for a dog to reproduce itself in every shape, form, whether it be like the movements, it'd be the structure of head, it'd be everything. Like it's really hard for me. It would be really hard for me to create another Zeus. Zeus has a lot of beautiful sons, don't get me wrong, but like none of them are Zeus. Does that make sense?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, so now, like, I have a whole bunch of Zeus. I have a decent amount of Zeus daughters that I kept. You know what I'm saying? And all of them they look very good. They're promising, but they're like 8 months, 10 months. We have 2 females that are about to go and eat that are now almost pushing 2 years old. So we're about to breed them. But to make a long story short, I was more focused on reloading my females, rebooting my females. Yeah. I learned that the females dictate the way your program goes, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't focused on like creating another Zeus. I was focused on creating another Zeus in a female coat. Does that make sense? Oh yeah. She can produce another Zeus in a male coat. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot. We got some females we about to be hitting y'all with some Spartan Bully females. It's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna make sure I put them in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I want people to see them. Hey, I haven't put them out for the public to see yet because they're on co-owns, and you know, a lot of people don't take the best pictures. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, people work, so they're not focused on showing their dogs. That's another thing is getting your puppies in a show program. Yeah, that's what I learned also. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of these homes, they go to great homes, but they're not show homes. You know what I'm saying? Right. So.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you, as the breeder, have to put the extra work into getting these dogs showed and getting them put out there. You get what I'm saying? Because the boy that I'm showing now, he's my production, but I don't own him. He's owned by somebody else, and they're taking great care of him, but they're not show people.
Yeah.
So I just go pick him up.
Right.
But if I had a lot of these other dogs, if they were closer to me, I would be able to really hit y'all with some fire. But like they're all over the United States. So with that being said, like I can only show the dogs that I'm able to go put
Get
hands on
access to.
and actually
Yeah.
take to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was we most recently saw you at the Atlanta Bully Marathon, and there was this beautiful white and black you had.
Yeah, that's Cash. That's Cash.
That's a pretty good looking boy there.
He's nice.
He's nice.
He's a young.
He's lean. He's nice.
And he just hit 2 years old. So like
He ain't done yet.
I'm being patient with him. Does that make sense? Because
Absolutely.
I'm looking at pictures of Zeus when he was 2, and I'm looking at pictures of Cash, but they're 2 totally different bloodlines. They make 2 totally different bloods.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, this can happen, but if it does, it does. If it doesn't, I got some. Just wait, I got some heat. I don't even bring it up, but I got.
We ready?
I got some buddy. It's a dog that I really want people to see down here in Tennessee. His name is Paco, and when he gets pulled out, he makes a little smile on my face. That makes sense. Like too many dogs I haven't promoted. He's actually off of Canelo, Grand Champion Canelo, bred to a Charles Barkley daughter. He's produced by School Bullies and Chris Shaw. He's one of their productions, and I say this boy, but he's close to me. That makes sense. Yeah. He's close to me.
Yeah.
And the owner, he really didn't know about shows. He was kind of like me. Does that make sense? I kind of, when I look at him and the owner and the situation, it kind of reminds me of me and Zeus. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I want to put him in the best position with this bad dog that he got. Because I've seen a lot of dogs this year, and this boy's young. He's young, like it's gonna be a problem. I'm really excited to get a chance to really pull this boy out and see what he can do against some of these big boys. And he's only 14 months, and he's bad. He's so bad that next weekend in North Carolina, I'm popping him out. We gonna pop him out next weekend. James Cooper's show. Yeah, we gonna pop him out. He's gonna make his debut next weekend.
You gotta get. Are you having anybody handling him, or are you handling him?
I see that. That's the thing, that's another thing. Like with Zeus, I never stuck with a handler. Does that make sense? When I first started showing Zeus, I was showing Zeus. It's never been like, it's always been about having fun, about just going out there and competing. I was showing Zeus, but I didn't know how to show Zeus. I'm not a handler. So somebody walked up to me one day like, let me show him. Can I please show him and see how he does? So I'm like, okay, yeah, you can show him for sure. And then we won 3 best in shows that day. That same day, he won 3 best in shows.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah. I'm never touching this dog again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never. That's how I started using the handler. You know what I'm saying? That's how I started using the handler. But I never, until me and Tone sat down and said that we about to make it happen. Till I seen how Zeus did in Tone's hands and seen that he was open. But handling Zeus, I put Zeus in any handler's hands. That makes sense. I don't ever commit myself to one handler. That makes sense. Because I just
absolutely.
If a dog's gonna be a dog, like that's how that's a way you socialize the dog. You get him used to different hands. The dog will be who he is, no matter whose hands he's in. I feel like me personally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like whoever's there and I decide to handle them, hey, that's who's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I might do it.
Preston took your boy in this last show.
Yeah, exactly. Preston is the one. Preston and Felix showed him his first show in Columbus, Georgia, at the season opener last year when he was a pup. Yeah, and he did really good. Matter of fact, it might not have been a season opener. It was
Labor Day.
The Labor Day show. It was Labor Day show.
That's right.
He did good. Like that boy there, like he came in and he been representing, like he been doing his thing. But he's still a puppy, so he has a lot of kinks to work out. You know what I'm saying? He's really
Beautiful animal. So yeah,
I appreciate it. I
I
appreciate
loved
it.
watching him in the ring. That was a nice dog for sure.
Thank you. This next boy though, he's gonna be something to watch out for. His
I'm,
name's
I'm
Cody,
excited
and
to see.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
I'm really hoping to get to see some video of his debut
I've
because that,
never
man.
promoted a dog on my page besides Zeus and Zeus's dad Dozer. This dog right here, I'm promoting him because he needs to be promoted. That makes sense. I feel
I
like
love
he's
it.
what the American
He's
bully is.
worthy. Yeah,
Yes,
he's
worthy.
definitely
He's
worthy.
very worthy. He's very worthy. He got the
He was good in
pedigree.
the community.
He's a dog that matches the dogs behind him. Yeah, and he's a very like you guys get your chance. You'll get an opportunity to see him and actually touch him and like he's a calm, like he has the best temperament in the world. You know what I'm saying? He's a good representation of the breed. That
Yes.
makes sense in and out. So I want him to be showed to his maximum ability, and I'm gonna do what I can to help him. And when I pull him out, it's gonna be.
It's
I ain't
oh
coming
no!
I ain't coming.
Don't ask for this. Just remember that.
I'm not coming to play. I'm excited about this one. This one.
Coming for that hardware.
That fire,
No, I'm here
fire back
for it.
in me.
If you're going to be bringing him to the Labor Day show in Columbus, that'll probably be my first time seeing him in person.
Yeah.
So man, I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, you better believe we about to come about it. We coming.
Good. I want to see this dog. I want to see him.
Man,
But
I love your energy. You're so passionate, man. You got the real love for the dogs, and man, it's just it's cool to watch because you go out for the right reason and you stand on something. But hey, with Zeus, you said you got some beautiful females that are of Zeus that you have in house. Any inbreeding gonna take place back to Zeus? Or?
guess what? I swear you hit the nail on the head. I was just telling somebody yesterday. Just yesterday, I said, look, I have a decent amount of frozen here, and I'm trying to figure out what direction I'm gonna go with my own personal.
Yeah.
So I seen a female here.
Eh?
So I seen a female yesterday when she was brought to my house, and I'm like, man, I got a list of studs picked out, but we can also use Zeus also. Does that make sense? But
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
never did it because I never did inbreeding. I never did an inbreeding with Zeus yet. Does that mean I not did it 2 times? I haven't did it 2 times Zeus yet. So it's a lot that I feel that the door is open for because I have an ample amount of frozen here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make sense?
absolutely.
I prepare myself once Zeus, like I prepare myself by getting frozen when Zeus was here. When he was here before he was even the deal, before he was even sold, I was already getting frozen on him because I was seeing people's dogs that were passing away and they weren't having frozen. They were having to give all their feed.
Get it now.
They were having to give all those thousands on top of thousands back. So like people, that's a big thing. Get your dogs pulled and stored. That's like, whew. That's one of the most important things I can ever tell y'all. Get the males. If you got a male that you love, tomorrow's not promised for none of us, especially these dogs. So get them pulled and get them stored if they're healthy. If they're not, don't do it. If the dog's not healthy, I suggest just don't. Just try to get them healthy, but don't breed them.
That's the hardest one to convince people. It's hard to. That's the hard one because they're just like, oh, I know, but I really want another one, and with him, and I'm like, oh.
You want another one of him. You go get another one of him. So
yeah.
But pretty much like I'm just reloading y'all. And like I said, I'm a novice. I'm a novice at everything. I'm a novice at showing. I'm a novice at breeding, but I'm learning. And and I approach everything with a positive mindset. Does that make sense? I try to approach everything, everybody, try to keep everything because that's how you get stuff done. The negative stuff is not gonna get anything done with nobody, man.
No,
you just gonna pull us back. But I appreciate you guys for having me. I'm about to have to get off of here. I appreciate y'all having me. I'm not gonna be able to be on here all night. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, like
we got a
this
storm
has been.
away. And these dogs are in here barking, so I got to get them situated because it's storm about to come, and I don't want them to be in there messed up. So.
Oh, I'm just honored that you gave us the time that you could, because I know once again you got that storm rolling in, you got the kiddos probably about to head down, and the dogs are freaking out. So I'm really appreciative that you were willing to hop on and talk dogs with us for as long as you could. It means a lot.
I wish I
Yes,
could
thank
stay
you for your
longer.
time,
I
man.
look forward to us having this time again, though. Really,
Yes. Oh
I
my
look forward to
gosh.
like. I
Absolutely.
would love to actually
Absolutely. Like,
get more
especially once
time
you
to talk
start
about different
campaigning your
things.
boy. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I
Love
can't wait. I
it.
can't wait.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a good one. Good night, everybody.
You,
All
you too,
All right,
man.
good
right.
night,
Night,
y'all.
hon.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you again for a good night. And thank you all, everybody. Share this, share this, share this. Like, if you really enjoyed what you heard, go ahead, hit the share button and take it away. We definitely want people to get to know Tyshawn more, especially considering he's got a whole new bag of tricks for y'all. So I'm very, very excited to see that coming up. So yeah, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. Tag people. We definitely appreciate the love. So thanks again, guys. You have a great rest of the night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.